Alrighty, we are starting out another game, 7th edition. This time just got the Ork Codex. So trying that out, going to do like a Speed Freak type kind of list. We're playing the Maelstrom missions of war. We got the mission number 3. It's the one where you start with one tactical objective, and then basically each turn you get a different one. So I think 7 turns you could get like 7 of them. We put down all the things, so it's basically hammer and anvil deployment. The Eldar won the role to deploy first, and which they did. As far as where the objectives are located, so this is the Ork side of the table. So we have an objective 6 right here. I put an objective 2 in that building right there. I have, let's see here, objective 5 in that middle building. We have objective 4 right there, in the kind of out in the open. Then over on the Eldar side, we have objective 3 down there, which near the Guardians, and then over behind that fire prism is objective 1. So we chose to try to see if it was night fighting. It's not, and that's kind of about it. So go over the list here real quick. So I brought 2 trucks with Ard Boys, 12 of them, knob, boss pole, power claw. The trucks have big shooters, and there's a big shooter in the unit itself. Trucks have big shooters, and then also have boarding planks. Just haven't put them on there. Just got the codex. So there's 2 of them. You kind of see where they're deployed at.
We'll forgive you.
Yeah. And then, so then I have 2 battle wagons. So this one here is has the Grot Riggers, cannon, big shooter, reinforced ram. These guys have reinforced ram also. And then that has, I think it's like 15 Choppa Boyz. The knob has a power claw and a twin link shooter, boss pole. And then I got a mech for them. This unit here does have, it's a battle wagon, almost exact same loadout, but I do have boarding planks on there, and those have, I think, 16 Choppa Boyz with like a mech, and then knob, boss pole, and power claw. And these have heavy armor, so the truck boys do. I have 5 Defcopters with rockets, 2 with buzzsaws. I then have 5 war bikes. So what I did is they're kind of set up throughout this thing here. I do have a knob with a power claw, which is right there. I have a pain boy that I did on a bike. And then I have, in the middle, I have a mech. It's kind of hard to see, but I have a mech with a custom force field that's just kind of being proxied right now on a bike. And then of course my Warboss right there. Rolled for the Warlord traits and ended up re-rolling, and I got the one with +1 strength for them. So I do have the tactical objective cards for the Ork, so I'm going to use those too. So we'll go over here with the Eldar.
So I have 3 Wave Serpents.
Okay.
They all have regular 10-man Guardian squads.
Okay.
They have platforms with bright lances, all 3 of them.
Okay.
Then I have 3 Jetbike squads. One of them is just a 4-man with 1 shrinking cannon and 3 regular guys. That one also has an Autark and a Warlord.
Okay. So you have 3 of those, so 2 are on the table?
Yeah, 2 more units are in reserve.
Okay.
They're both 6.
Okay.
They're both larger squads. And then Farseer with Mantle on the Jetbike, Fire Prism.
Okay.
And then, by the way, one of the Guardian units deployed up on that hill. That's the one that's in front of the Wraith Knight here.
Okay.
And then I have the Crimson Hunter.
Okay, and then of course we have the Wraith Knight with what is it? The Sun Cannon, yeah, and the shield, yeah, Glimmer shield, and then we have the Crimson Hunter. And then we have 2 more bike units in reserve. So, cool. Do you want to go first? Or you're going to have me go first?
I'm going to go first.
Okay, so we'll see about stealing the initiative, and we'll kind of go from there. And just to, your Warlord trait on him was the stealth, right? Once per game, him and units around him, I guess, can get the stealth rule. So, alrighty. Okay, end of Eldar Turn 1. So I did try to seize the initiative and did not. So, we'll see how that goes. So, first things first, the card that he got was this Supremacy. He ended up easily being able to do that. I mean, he already controlled 2 to my 1. Oh, you need to roll a D3 for that. Did you roll a D3?
Oh, it's D3?
Yeah, so we'll do that to see if that changes. Okay.
So 3.
So 3 of them. So he got 3 points for that, actually.
Holy shit.
So let's see. That objective was uncovered. It's nothing. That objective over there is Skyfire. This objective over here is the reroll 1s. So what had happened is Wave Serpeant moved over here, Wave Serpeant moved over there. The bikes just kind of moved up. They ended up turbo boosting way over there. Homie jumped up over here. The Fire Prism it just kind of stood still over there, I think, with that Wave Serpent. I believe the Wave Serpent that was there moved over, if I'm not mistaken. And the Farseer had moved over, used its assault move over there, and during the psychic phase had got a guide off on the Fire Prism, and then had went for Fortune, I believe, on the big guy, and it failed it, rolled 3 3s. And then Conceal got off. I did try to use my defensive psychic dice to do something, and I didn't, so those guys have Conceal on them. Basically what happened here, the big guy killed 2 war bikers with his blast weapon. That ended up fired on here and ended up wrecking it. Those guys made their pinning check and just got out, so they're good. That did get him first blood. And so that's going to give him 4 points so far for this first turn. This one then moved up and fired over here and blew up that truck. These guys failed their pinning check. I ended up having to do the mob rule, and I lost 4 guys. One of them was the big shooter. So, yeah, kind of a little rough, but we'll see how it goes from here. And yeah, I believe that's it. Alright. Okay, so end of Ork Turn 1, and nothing really went too great. Let's see, these guys had kind of moved up over here. They were within 9 inches of that. The card that I drew was Here We Go. And what I basically needed to do was charge a distance of 10 inches or more to get a victory point. And if I did it with 3 or more Ork units, I got D3 victory points. This ended up being 9 inches, and I rolled an 8, even with my reroll. The Coptas actually fired, and they fired on this guy over here, made him jink. So that's good. It'll be Snapfire next turn. The Battlewagons, I just moved them up. So I wanted to kind of get in the middle of all these objectives, and then oh, you know what? I'm gonna move them flat out. It'll take a little bit, if that's all right. the Battlewagon,
Yeah.
just a touch. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to move them up just a little bit so that I can try to get at least be within 3 of that thing. Yeah, so, and then I actually had done those guys, so that's the mech. They just moved, didn't really do
They
anything.
can actually move up too, though.
Yeah, they can move up maybe a little bit more. Just moving flat out. The mech did take a wound, basically for moving through cover, so I gotta put that on there. Those guys, I was trying to decide if I wanted to stay back, and I figured, you know, what the hell, just like move forward. I went for my run, and I only rolled a 1, so those guys are just chilling. Probably be dead next turn, but these guys just snap fired. I tried to just get lucky, you know, what the heck, maybe start whittling him down. Didn't really do anything, and that's it, man. It sucked. That first turn was bad. So, but we're going into turn 2. And so I have no victory points, and the Eldar have 4 so far. Okay, so that was end of Eldar turn 2. So all his reserves came on. So the Crimson Hunter came on right there in the middle. We had a bike squad come in over here, a bike squad come over there. So they simply, that bike squad just kind of ended up turbo boosting. They ended up turbo boosting. The Crimson Hunter ended up firing on the Battlewagon that was there and hit once, and I did the 4-up invulnerable save from the force field. I was able to save that. So let's see what else. These guys moved up over here. The Wave Serpeant moved up. They fired on the boys that were kind of around in that area. Both of them combined. I ended up making quite a bit saves. Matter of fact, I'm pretty impressed with the heavy armor boys.
Yeah,
I mean, that's they're pretty good. So. And ended up doing an assault phase. He got, as far as cards that he drew behind enemy lines, which he was trying to hopefully do if he got a good enough assault move, and then assassinate, which he didn't get either of those. The boys ended up taking casualties and failed their check, and then I made the saves, which was good for the mob roll, and so they fell back a little bit. Let's see, over there, fired one. I lost one guy over here, didn't really do anything. The guy moved up, they tried to fire, so nothing else really kind of went down, except for this crazy thing. Oh, you know what, we never really did that, because they had the malediction on them.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'll re-roll a couple. So anyways, Psychic Face, he did do the Doom on those guys. We're just kind of remembering. So I'll re-roll a couple, see if some more of them die. And then he guided that thing back there. Conceal went off. I only got 1 dice to prevent him, so there's no way I could even try to deny the witch on that, because he had 4 successes with it. So this guy came up, shot, hit, didn't do anything, ended up assaulting it, and did 3 hits. So I was hoping, but he ended up blowing it up. So the guys inside me in their pinning check, and only I think 1 of them died, which was pretty good. So that is it. Trying to think, that's a Skyfire thing that we did. These guys are falling back, so we'll see if they destroy some more. And so no more points for him, so it still is, I believe, 4-0, and that's it. So just to follow up, we kind of, since I forgot on those, I just re-rolled a bunch of saves. I mean, I probably made like 7 or 8 in that turn, so I rolled 7, and I ended up losing, I think, 5 more guys. So just to kind of make it even. All right. Okay, so end of Ork's turn 2. So the one of my DACA jets, the Red Baron, came in. which was awesome. So he came in over here and proceeded to blow up the Crimson Hunter. I already had Here We Go from last time, and then I got Recon too. So what I ended up doing is these guys moved up, ran over here, uncovered that objective. It's a 1. So we need to actually see if that blows up real quick. It does not. The Battlewagon just kind of moved up and fired. The guys fired out of there. Ended up killing one of those guys. The boys that were blown up in the Battlewagon over here moved around this way. I called my WOG and I ended up running and then was able to charge. And I charged 11 inches, so that's got me at least 1 for Here We Go, to get into combat with the Farseer. Proceeded to actually wipe the Farseer out with my boys. I mean, super awesome, and got me Warlord. And then these guys came up, proceeded to shoot at him. I think maybe we did one wound in the shooting. These guys moved over and also fired on him. I think total with them shooting, he lost 1 wound. What I did is I had to bust the mech off here to uncover that one, which ended up becoming a 6, so that I can get Recon. So when I ended up rolling for here, I got 10, so that got me 2 guys. So I needed kind of a 3rd. He did shoot at them, and I proceeded to try to assault them, and I got murdered on the Overwatch. I just rolled just for the heck of it. I would have got in, which would have got me D3. So, so the mech with the custom force field's gone. He had 1 wound left anyways. These guys over here, they ended up rallying. They're just kind of hanging by that objective. That's the one that I could reroll 1s. I think they fired on them and they made their save. So worked out pretty decent. So I ended up getting 3 points that game. So he has 4 to 3, and we're going into turn 3. All of his stuff's on. I still have a DACA jet to come on. Oh, and so let's talk a little bit about this too. I got pretty lucky. I ended up assaulting him, and he attacked back, didn't do any wounds. I ended up attacking. I used my lucky stick to re-roll 3 stuff. I ended up doing, I think, 3 more wounds. He tried to do the blind attack back on me, but I made my initiative, or my initiative. So he lost a total of 4 there. So, alrighty. Okay, so that was the end of Eldar Turn 3. So let's see what kind of craziness happened. So let's start with these guys. So first of all, they were over there. They moved up, fired, got a ton of blade storms, killed those 3 guys that were left, and then did their assault move to jump over here. That got them behind enemy lines for a victory point. That was also, they killed 1 character, so it got them assassinate also. Over here I had a whole bunch of orcs that had killed the Farseer last turn. So with combined fire from the fire prism, from these guys, from that over there, used its serpent shield, and this thing here used its serpent shield also. Ended up wiping them out and got a second character. Actually, just the knob was left, and I failed my leadership, and then I mob ruled, and he like hit himself 5 times, killed himself.
I didn't get any points. I only got points for 1 of them.
Right. So, but he would have got 2. So if he would have killed a 3rd one, you would have rolled.
Those bikes.
Yeah. So he was hoping to kill something over here, but if he would have got a 3rd guy, then he could roll a D3 for those. So, which would have been kind of crazy. This thing just moved flat out over here. Those guys just moved up. That stuff over there. So the big news for me is over here. The Wraith Knight attacked, killed the 2 Warbikers that I had, and then, dude, Lucky Stick is awesome. just straight up
How many
awesomeness.
points is that?
It's like 15 or something ridiculous. Yeah. So just really good, and I ended up killing the Wraith Knight with those guys. So I have the Pain Boy, the Warboss left, which are unharmed, and then the Knob from the Warbiker thing. So that was good. Consolidated over this way, and that's it. So see if my stuff comes in. So he got 3 more points, so he's at 7. I am at 3, so he's up by 4. So we'll see what we can do. Okay, so first of all, when I drew my cards, I did get Hold the Line, and I did not get it. I'm going to discard it. I also drew Secure Objective 3 and Stomp 'em Boys. I ended up getting those, so I got 2 more points, and so I now have a total of 5 points. So what I had to do was, one of them was I had to get, so this is kind of a big one. This was Objective 3, and there was the Guardians over there. So the Battlewagon was here, the dudes were in, so I got all the dudes out, sat there. The Battlewagon moved up as much as possible. I did, the Red Baron came in, my other Dakajet hasn't come in yet. And so what I did was shooting here, I killed like 2 or 3 units, or 2 or 3 models. It killed 3 models. The Dakajet fire didn't kill anything. It was enough to do a morale check on them. And then they proceeded to run off the table. That allowed me to move flat out with this to secure Objective 3, which was pretty cool. These guys just kind of moved around. Over here, these guys moved over and fired onto the, there's a unit with the Warlock and has the Autarch in there. I think I did 1 wound, and then assaulted, ended up killing out all the unit except for the Autarch. He ended up making his morale and stayed in there. Then over here, the Warboss, the Pain Boy, and that Knob ended up blowing up that Wave Serpeant. So not bad. I mean, I got 2 things. He's still got 7. I have 5, so it's close, dude. It's going to turn 4. Alright. Okay, so end of Eldar Turn 4. So just to kind of follow up, a crap ton of stuff shot at them. I ended up jinking. The Pain Boss was done. He had died early on, so I didn't get my Feel No Pain. And then I used the Lucky Stick to re-roll some armor saves, or re-roll some saves, and then basically was able to keep them alive. They made their check as far as everything, so kind of a lot of stuff shot at them. These guys ended up doing their assault move back over here. The Fire Prism ended up firing large blast over here, which there's some guys over there. Killed quite a few of them. I made my check there. That was part of the thing that fired at those guys. These guys with objective secured, because he had to try to get 6, moved flat out and got that, since those are the troop choice. And so that got him an objective. Objective 1 was the other one that he got, and he has that over there. Oops. The other thing that he was trying to go for, he drew the card where if I failed a morale or a pinning check or something like that, which I didn't. And so I think he discarded that one. And then he also has Secure Objective 5, which he did not do. It's over here, which I have. So he got, what, 2 more points? So he's now at 8-9. So I'm 4 points behind. Alright. Okay, end of Ork Turn 4. So what we did is this thing over here, he took another wound, made a save. I drew, as far as cards, I got Big Game Hunter, Hungry for Glory, Secure Objective 6, and then Scour the Skies. I'm going to end up ditching that one because I can't do it anymore. And I did get Big Game Hunter because of blowing up the Wave Serpeant that was there. They made all their checks and morales. And then over here, I tank shocked that unit. They're falling back. These guys just moved up. These guys moved up, tried to charge over here, were unsuccessful. This Daca Jet came in and did shoot at them. They made their saves. So that's it. I was hoping to get Objective 6, so I just got 1 point. So I'm at 6, I believe. What are you at?
I'm at 9.
9. Yeah, that's right.
And I get 2 automatically.
Okay.
Cards.
Okay, we're back. So the start of this game, we actually didn't finish one night. It just got really late, and so we just put everything on hold. So it's started turn 5, and so now we're just going to finish up the game and get it going. So going into this thing, the Eldar were up 9-6. So it's rough. The Orks have had a rough time, but we'll see kind of what happened. So, oh, you know what? We need to finish that. So let's finish one thing over here real quick, and then we'll go. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and finish up what we got here. So the Guardians that were over there ran into cover, shot, ended up not doing any wounds, and then ran again. The Fire Prism just moved over. This still has units in it, and so this just basically moved over. Those guys rallied and then just did their 3-inch move. And then what else? So these guys had moved back over here, and then so what happened? They ended up moving flat out over there to secure that objective. That's objective 5, and so he had 2 cards to do that. So that got him 2 points. There were boys there, and that's a scatter field, so basically gave him a +1 cover. Went to ground. The Fire Prism shot at him, made all my saves, did like 7 or 8 wounds or something. This shot at him, made my saves, and then the stupid Serpent Shield fired and killed like 4 of them or something. And then once again, the stupid mob rule reared its head, and I ended up killing all my guys because of stupid mob rule. So that's what got him 5. He was already had 1 here pretty much, and then recon. I mean, the stuff's already been uncovered for a while, so that was an easy point. So he got 4 more points, so he's up to 13 now. Total. Over here, what ended up happening, those 2 are dead. This Autarch, he has a Singing Spear, and he attacked twice, wounded both. I rolled double 1s for these guys here, and then attacked back. I have 2 Power Claws in there, or Buzzsaws, and didn't hit at all. He has 1 wound left too, so once again, did not make my hit and run thing. I think I've tried that 2 or 3 times, and but I did make my morale to stay in combat, which is 5. So that's it. So we're going to Ork's turn 5. Alrighty. So let's see, the other Daca Jet came on, moved over here, shot at the 3 guys that were on there, killed 1 of them. This Daca Jet moved over, ended up firing on those guys, killed 1 of them. The Battlewagon ended up moving back over here to secure this objective. I had a secure objective 4 card that I did, and ended up shooting at those guys, didn't do anything. These guys moved through cover, came over here, try to finish off these guys. I had a secure objective 5, so you know I was hoping maybe I could assault them or something to get over there, but ended up wiping those guys off the board, which was not bad. Didn't get that objective, but I did from shooting on them. I had the Daka tactical card, and which means I got a kill unit from shooting at them, and so that was done. Over here, these guys finally killed the Autark, and then they consolidated over here. I had objective 6, so that got me a point. And then over here, just to kind of try to curb the Wave Serpeant madness, the Warboss and that knob charged into that Wave Serpent and wrecked it. So the guys got out over there, emergency disembark, and they made their penny check. So so that's the end of turn 5. We're going to see if it goes on.
Can we roll at 5?
Yeah, so we'll have to roll.
Yeah, roll it up.
So let's see what I ended up getting with points. So I got 3 more points.
So you're at 9.
So I had 6. So I had 1 for First Blood, and then 8. So I have 9. So it's 9 to 13, I believe, right? Yeah, 9 to 13 that he has. So still down by 4, but I have a good amount of units on the floor. So let's see. I want the turn to go on.
So what do you need to roll?
So I want 3 or above. All right, and I use the lucky stick for this one.
Sure. If you fail, you lose.
If I fail, he's dead. 6. So it goes on. Alrighty. Interesting. Okay, so Eldar Turn 6. So let's see. These guys ended up moving, just moving flat out. Landed over here trying to get Line Breaker. These guys ran through, shot at him, then ran up. Luckily they got that. Secure objective because they're a troop choice. Ended up getting that. They moved up. They didn't quite. The shot over here didn't do anything. I think he lost a whole point actually. And then they didn't quite move in range of that, but that's okay. He had 2 secure objective 4 cards, so which was good. He also got what other cards did he get? He got secure objective 6, no prisoners, and blood and guts. And then I think he ditched Hungry for Glory. And then the Fire Prism moved over there to, and then fired the Small Blast template and those guys, and I went, did it jinked and made my save. So that's where we're at. So he got 2 more points, so he has a total of 15. So I have a total of 9. I need 6 points to keep going, and then we'll kind of see what we can do. So, all right. Okay, so into turn 6, dude. This is a little rough. This has been a good game. So, first of all, so cards that I drew, I got no prisoners, psychological warfare. I ended up getting, I think I already had secure objective 5, so I got secure objective 1. Assassinate and domination. So what I ended up doing, I was trying to go for the whole shebang and just wipe them out. I had a feeling that I could do it, but it ended up not doing that. So what I did is I moved the Death Copters over here. The bikes were right there. Through Overwatch, he killed one of them. Luckily, I made my thing barely assaulted them, and then killed a couple. They failed their morale check, and then I actually swept them, which was interesting. So that took care of that unit, which was going to get him line breaker and everything there. So that's one unit down. There was a big unit right here and a big unit over there. So what I did first of all is I did the Battlewagon, moved it, tank shocked the one unit. They failed and ran back over there, and I just turned kind of sideways. Then the Warboss disembarked, or he split off from the knob, which is over there. So the Warboss basically came over here to attack this unit. These guys came out to shoot at that unit that was there. Both DACA jets came over to shoot at that. I had a path. I was going to try to get this knob over here to assault that thing so I could kill it, but I needed a little bit of spacing in this area, and when I tank shocked him, he fell back far enough that it blocked my path. And how we play this is, oh, you know what? But anyways, how we play this is basically the bikes couldn't go up. We'll probably change that in the future because 7th has changed, but 6th edition bikes couldn't go up on levels and stuff. But that's how we played it. So that's why I kind of got stuck in there. So what I ended up doing is these two DACA jets fired on him, got 2 glances. So it's close, dude. He jinked and everything. The rocket actually fired at it, hit, pinned it, made a save. So that could have been really big time. He ended up shooting and assaulting them. They failed their morale check for being assaulted and are destroyed. The Warboss basically assaulted this unit, killed the majority of them, didn't catch them, and they are running. There's a couple left that are back over there. So, you know, for the exception of him having 1 whole point and those guys running, like I almost got everything. So, but that's not the point. You still got, what do you have, 15 points?
Yeah.
So 15 points. I have 10, 11. I'll get 12, so I'll be 3 points down if the turn ends. So I want a 4 up. Come on, Orks. Oh, man. So I need a 4 up here. Oh.
What'd you roll? You can't see it.
A 2.
Oh, yeah. Eldar.
So, man, that was like a really good game.
That was a hell of a
super fun.
The Maelstrom
war, and the thing that was interesting is like I was always down on missions points, but as it started kind of going through, I started to realize that I had more units still left.
See, that's what's cool about this one opposed to the one we played last time, where you start off with a lot and you go to few.
Exactly.
It gets ramped up at the end.
Exactly. So actually, it was an advantage for me because I have more units. I draw more cards. I could get some. Even if I went for all my other objectives, you know, if I could have got maybe secure objective 5, secure objective 1. I really couldn't have got assassination or dominate, so I still would have been down a point pretty much. So I did get Warlord, and that's what made us 11. He had first blood, so interesting, but not bad. I mean, the Orks, I was actually very pleased with it. Even though I lost, it's normally Eldar just whoop on the Orks. I don't think I've ever actually won against the new Eldar list with my Orks, but this one I definitely had a feeling like I still had. I mean, I have my Warboss left, full hit points, lucky stick, the whole thing. I have a knob over there on the bike that has full health. I still have 2 DACA jets that haven't been hurt. I still think I have, what is that, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So like 11 boys still left over here. 2 Defcopters with buzzsaws and rockets.
I gotta say, as an Imperial Guard player, a long-time Imperial Guard player with resentment for Orks,
yeah.
It's nice to see how easily they break now.
Oh yeah,
they break way easier.
Yeah, so the things that I would say that I took away from this list is trucks are always going to be able to be blown up. I don't see that as a big fault, but I was impressed with the Battlewagon still, even though they went up in points. the truck boys, you have to have heavy armor on. I mean, it's just a must. But you know, it was, I think, turn 4 or turn 5 that I still had a truck boy unit.
It's an open top vehicle.
Right.
That's going to give you more chance that it explodes for something.
Yeah, so that's just an absolute must. And other than that, everything did good. The bikes, man, Lucky Stick is insane.
It's awesome.
So insane. On a bike, when you can jank for 3 up and then re-roll and like all that type of stuff, it's just way too good. But
you can have 2 of those, right?
What?
Or 3 of those.
3 what? Bikes?
Yeah, with the Warboss.
Yeah, I mean,
only have 1 Lucky Stick.
Yeah, only 1 Lucky Stick. So, but pretty good. That's it. So even though I lost, I think it was fun. It was a good game. So.